This is Prep Test 73, Section 2, number 13, and it says, well, a reformer says, a survey of police departments keeps track of the national crime rate, which is the annual number of crimes per 100,000 people. The survey shows no significant reduction in the crime rate in the past 20 years, but the percentage of the population in prison has increased substantially, and public expenditure on prisons has grown at an alarming rate. This demonstrates that putting more people in prison cannot help to reduce crime. My objection is, listen, even though the crime rate has not changed, and even though the prison population has gone up, and even though money on prisons has gone up, that doesn't mean that putting more people in prisons cannot help to reduce crime, because what if people are just worse now and we have to put more people in prison, or else crime would be even worse than it already is? You're forgetting about the possibility that it might be the case that every single person we locked up was just straight serial killer, and that if we didn't lock them up, there would be death and mayhem everywhere. That's possible according to these facts. It could be that people are just going crazy these days, and that if we weren't putting people in prison, that there would be crime everywhere. Now, that's not, of course, not what I personally believe to be true, but these facts, this reformer hasn't proven otherwise. The objection to this argument is, yeah, but it would be even worse if we hadn't been putting these people in prison. A flaw in the argument is what? Did it A, infer without justification that because the national crime rate has increased, wait, that's not true. It didn't do that. It said that the crime rate has stayed the same, so it's not A. B, does it ignore the possibility that the crime rate would have significantly increased if it had not been for the greater rate of imprisonment? Yeah, that's exactly right. You're forgetting that maybe these people that we put away are really, really bad people and would have been doing all kinds of crimes all the time, and that the only thing that's saving us from rampant crime spree, is that we have put all these people in prison. So the answer is going to be B. Did they overlook the possibility that the population has increased significantly over the past 20 years? That's irrelevant because we're only talking about rate statistics. We're talking about crimes per 100,000, and we're talking about percentage of the population in prison. So that is rate statistics and has nothing to do with whether the population is bigger or smaller. D, does it presume without providing warrant that alternative measures for reducing crime would be more effective? It doesn't do that. It never gives an alternate solution. It's not leaping to any alternate solution. No, it's not D. E, does it take for granted that the number of prisoners must be proportional to the number of crimes committed? What? No. How did it do that? Where did it take for granted that there's going to be always a proportional relationship between the number of prisoners and the number of crimes committed? It didn't do that. In fact, it did the opposite of that, because it said we have higher incarceration and no change in the crime rate. So it definitely didn't do E. B, though, it does ignore that possibility, and that possibility is a big problem. So the answer there is going to be B.